VMIAC's pretty much Australia's own funded peer organisation. So that is, people with lived experience work throughout all areas within the organisation, and it's funded primarily to provide advocacy. So it's a peer-run advocacy organisation for people with the lived experience of mental health issues and emotional challenges or trauma. So this conference just brings together not only members but also the lived experience workforce to share ideas, to find ways forward, share innovative approaches, collaborate, and that's just the best thing, because we know how important the peer lived experience workforce is, and from a lot of people's point of view, it's the only way forward.
Film my big face.
Just see if they need anything from us, just to kind of go around and help them out.
Okay.
So that's the change for your bump in. So I'll give you that so you know where you are for the rest of the day as well.
So I might just hang with the caterers.
No, I'm not all day, but just in this morning part.
Okay, sure.
Just because I had you on set up beanbags, but this is where we're keeping them here until we get the other room. So we don't have the other room until this afternoon.
So that was safe.
Yeah, so
there's no classes in here or anything? There's nothing in
here? No, this is going to be closed, and this is where we're going to be. So Ella and Becky, Ella's not here yet, but when Ella gets here, what I'll get you to do is just go upstairs, put two sheets of butcher's paper in each room.
Yes.
Maybe actually 4, because we'll get 2 sessions done at once.
Yes.
And the mints, maybe do you have the mints? Why have a VMIAC conference? Mainly to provide that space for consumers to get together, to share learnings, to really bring up the consumer workforce. I think that's one of my favourite parts of being the conference so far, is there's been so many different workshops and sessions that are related to the consumer workforce, so people can share their experiences and their skills, which can only do wonders for where we're at the moment and move it forward.
The VMIAC conference is a conference for consumers in Victoria. It started actually as a workforce conference, so only for people who were undertaking work as consumer consultants in the day, but has grown over time, and increasingly we've incorporated consumers who want to get into the work as well as people that are currently doing the work. And this year, for the first time, we've actively encouraged clinicians to come as well. So even if you're not actually presenting with consumers, you can come and listen to the presentations, which is a real change and a great growth for the conference. The VMIAC conference is really important because it's the only space, the only conference in Australia that is completely owned by consumers. So we run it, we organise it, we make the decisions about who gets a place on the program, we make decisions collectively about who are our keynote speakers, and we set the whole agenda of the conference. And this is a unique opportunity for consumers in Australia. Other conferences have consumer streams and have consumer keynotes, but this we actually control, and that's one of the reasons why it's really important.
It's everything. It's just a huge big networking opportunity for people. We've been lucky over the 2 days of the conference to have some excellent keynote speakers and presentations that have just really kind of, I feel, blown people out by their connection. People are feeling very connected from coming together. I really feel there's a sense of excitement and new purpose amongst all the people who are here. Flick Gray, many of you may know, amazing academic, speaker, trainer, human rights activist and all-round good person. Flick is going to talk to us about listening to shame, self-harm, suicidality and the little part. So welcome to Flick Gray.
Hi. I actually haven't prepared anything in particular. I mean, I've prepared my life, which is one of the ways I identify as a professional oversharer. So this does come very much from...
I think that there is some really important work needed in the consumer movement around supported decision making and some of the tools that are available for us to get more choice in our treatment by services and some of that cultural change that's required in services. And for the consumer workforce, it's those big issues are around recognition of the value of the work that we do, recognition that we are a discipline, that we have a place at the table, not a place at the table. I was thinking then of Indy's presentation, but we actually are why the table even exists. So really having recognition of that value, valued employees, valued work, a career path for people to actually grow and develop in the workforce. I think they're the two really big issues.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, we're having 4 fantastic keynotes. So we had Indigo Daya, who opened yesterday, and Indigo is an inspirational speaker, as was Faye Jackson, who was just incredibly compassionate and sensitive, and I would say almost a glorious speaker, who ended our session yesterday. Then Keir Saltmarsh, who is opening today, and Keir is a very thoughtful expert in what it is to have a mental health issue. And Keir works for the Mental Health Complaints Commission. And then to end today, we have Kath Roper, a consumer academic, who's again a fantastic speaker, and who I believe will round off our conference really well by bringing it all together. So our major sponsor was CoHealth, and really that kicked it off straight away. And then the next sponsors are State Trustees in Mind. They're our next level of sponsorship. Again, fantastic. Another level of sponsorship has been APSU, Mary Health, the Northwestern PHN, HACSU, Tandem, WorkSafe, Mental Health Complaints Commission, IMA, Eastern Health, and Within Australia. And people really stepped up, those organisations really stepped up to the mark, have made this conference possible by their sponsorship, and we're very thankful for that.
Thanks, Meg.
No worries.
Well, 30 years from now, I hope there is no consumer movement. I hope that mental illness, mental distress, all those kind of areas of life are something that we've absorbed into just being, and absorbed and acknowledged as being part of being human.